Check it out. Let me tell you one.
Freedom for all.
What is up, my MMA brothers and sisters? Welcome to another episode of, wait for it, episode 6 of Let's Talk MMA. I changed up the name. If you've been watching all of the other ones, the MMA Half Hour was kind of the first name that I thought of. I figured as I did a few episodes, I'd kind of get an idea of what I wanted to do, how I wanted to go about it. And the fact of the matter is I love talking MMA. I love meeting new people. All of this was meant for the MMA community, for us to talk and take pics and do all the good stuff and just talk MMA. So Let's Talk MMA is what it's going to be. So this is episode 6. I have a very special guest today. I'm very excited about this. If you guys have an Instagram, you may or may not know yet, but you will. Matt, Lions of MMA, is going to be on today, and we're going to talk about UFC 205. We can't go through the whole card because, as you guys know, it is stacked upon stacked upon stacked. So we're going to talk about Khabib versus Michael Johnson and make our way up to the main event, Conor and Eddie, of course. We just can't fit them all in. But I'm going to give a call to Lions of MMA right now. We're going to get the Skype going, and this should be really fun. Let's give him a ring. What's up?
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? We are live, my friend.
Yes.
All right, so Matt, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, what I think before we start with the UFC 205 card and talk about the fights and all that good stuff, I would love for you to introduce yourself to the people. You're a very successful Instagram page. From what I see and from what I follow, great clips, great knowledge, just the whole thing. So I'm really excited to pick your brain on this episode. But please let the people know.
Thank you. My name is Matt. I'm 26 years old. I'm a young entrepreneur. Pretty much just got started on Instagram. I was sick with stomach problems for a while, and I just kind of just depressed and figured, like, what am I doing with my life? And so I just kind of got on Instagram one day and started an MMA thing, and started putting pretty cool pictures and quotes together, and it started picking up, and it just started becoming a passion for me. And now we're here about a year later, and looking to be working on some clothing, some other things down the road. But awesome. Man, so excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah, and some of the people that watch know I have a little clothing brand, so we talked a little bit before the show. I'm sure we'll be doing plenty of things, so that's very exciting to meet somebody new and having a lot of the same things. But yeah, Lions of MMA, I'll put the logo right up there. Check him out on Instagram, and I hope we'll do more of these. But let's talk some fights. Let's talk MMA.
All right, brother, let's get to it.
Now, there's a lot of freaking fights. I just told everybody, I was like, the card is just so stacked that, I mean, we could do an hour plus, but we just got to stick to the main fights. So we can give a little bit more quality feedback on it. So let's get started. And I'm going to bring something maybe back. Maybe it's just a regular thing I do, but this is what I'm going to ask from you.
Okay.
Who you're going for. So that's like where your heart goes to. Who you're going for. And who do you think is going to win? Because sometimes the person that you think is going to win might not be who that is. But so let's see. Let me get your input first. Khabib versus Michael Johnson. Obviously, this was a fight that they just kind of put together. Michael Johnson just fought. Khabib, we know him to be injured. He's been out a long time, but he's undefeated. And who knows who's going to be able to beat him in his wrestling. So, yeah, what do you think?
Well, Michael Johnson looked amazing in his last fight, real quick with the hands. He even looked good against Nate Diaz, but Nate's a different animal. But Khabib, even though he hasn't, he's had one fight recently, but I just think he's a different a different animal. And when he gets a hold of you, you're in trouble. So I'd like to see Khabib win because I'd like to see him get a title shot. And I think if he wins the next fight, hopefully he'll fight the winner of McGregor versus Alvarez. But that's who I think is going to win, and that's who I hope is going to win.
That's where your heart goes to. It matches, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, for me, I would have to agree. So first off, I have to say Khabib, you know, one of the things I always try to keep in mind is where they're located. Khabib is AKA. He fights out of San Jose, right in my backyard. I really do like Michael Johnson. I mean, he's great. I mean, his flurries up close are dangerous.
They are.
But I don't see Khabib really playing that game. I see him. I see Khabib, and when I see this matchup, I see him taking him down. I see him beating him down, maybe even a submission. And it could be 3 rounds of just that.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, just kind of a ragdolling. And I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not counting Michael Johnson out, but Khabib, like I said, he's just a different animal. And I mean, if he can stay away from Khabib getting a hold of him and just keep him at bay.
If that's
Khabib's
possible.
got hands too. So, but yeah, I agree with you.
It's almost like now that we're talking about it, I mean, and I get what you're saying. You know, no disrespect to Michael Johnson at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Almost like one-sided in a way. Just because the matchup, Khabib is just too tough to not be taken down, and you know what fight comes to mind when he fought Dos Anjos? Just craziness. He just took him down, kept him down, and that's how he beat him. So it's just he's okay with doing that. I'm gonna bring up something like when we get to Eddie Alvarez, I'm almost afraid of that's what Eddie Alvarez should do with the takedown stuff. But I almost feel like he might want to stand up to prove a point type thing. Khabib ain't gonna do that.
No, he won't.
He's not gonna stand up with him to prove any point. He's just gonna go in there and ground and pound him or whatever. And Michael Johnson, I don't know, got a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Alvarez plays to his game. I don't want to see what if he would have just stuck to his game plan, or what if he did this or that. You know what I mean?
You want to see the best at what they're good at.
Yeah, and there's no reason to prove a point. You've already proved your point. You have it right around your waist. Right. So do what you got to do.
We'll save that. We'll save that one.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. I think that one's pretty clear. Michael Johnson, best of luck to you, my friend. Because if he does beat him, I mean, and that's why he's smart to take the fight. If he does beat him, he's now right up in that title contention. Yep. Would they give it to him? I don't know. That's a whole nother story. But hey, it's a good risk for him to take. If he loses, I lost to the best in the world.
Yeah.
No big deal.
he's got nothing to lose in this fight, so
right.
He's got that. Yeah.
And Khabib, if I understand correctly, I don't know if you know, but Khabib took this fight even though he could have been paid for it or something like that. I think he could have been paid for it, but he wanted to fight anyways. He just wanted a fight. And if that is,
he's not getting paid.
Like, I think you heard the drama where they promised him the title fight, but but then, you know, the whole thing with Conor and all of this going on. So to make it up to him or whatever, they're gonna pay him a fight, and he just decided, well, I'll just fight. I'll fight for it.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to get in there, and I'm like, dude, this guy is so savage.
He's a monster, man. Yeah. He's a savage. He is.
Have you seen him wrestling with bears? Yeah. Dude, this guy's crazy.
He is, man.
All right, so I think Khabib is our winner on that one. That'll still be a good fight, though. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got Frankie Edgar and Jeremy Stephens. Here, let me start off with this one. First off, did you see the press conference with Conor McGregor and all that? Jeremy Stephens?
Man, I was embarrassed almost.
Oh, man, my face might have turned red.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who is that? Dude,
Poor Jeremy.
So when that happened, I mean, it was good that he did it. I mean, after
definitely.
it got him in the conversation. We're obviously talking about it now. But damn, Conor is quick.
And you gotta know that, man, that he's gonna
whip it right back. But he did the right thing.
When he started saying that, I was just like, what are you doing? McGregor's about to tear you, and then you did it.
Yeah. So, all right, versus Frankie Edgar. So this is a really good matchup. I mean, the only thing that I could really foresee that I'm a little scared about, because right off the bat, I'm just a Frankie Edgar fan. Yeah. Generally speaking, I like Jeremy Stephens. Nothing against him.
Yeah.
And I know Jeremy Stephens has got knockout power, and that's what worries me. But if my memory serves correct, Frankie Edgar's never been knocked out. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Maybe a TKO. Maybe.
Yeah, which is basically a stoppage, maybe.
Stop.
So, you know, I just feel like even if he gets rocked hard, you know, maybe he'll get into the wrestling scramble. But now that I'm thinking about it, this is going to be an amazing fight because they're very well be striking and wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, Frankie Edgar has been through the gauntlet before Aldo. I mean, he fought Chad Mendez, Uriah Faber, Cub Swanson, BJ Penn, Charles Oliveira. Like, so my heart
there we go.
wants to go with Frankie. But I do believe that Jeremy Stephens could pull off a win with a bomb.
Yeah. All right. So there it is. Is that your pick? As I see you working it out.
Yeah, I'll go with Jeremy Stephens just to.
Yeah, let's spice it up.
Some feathers, yeah.
Let's spice it up. You know, some dollar bets. I like to do dollar bets. So Khabib, we're both on the same page there.
For sure.
So I like this.
And I love Frankie Edgar. Love him. He's a great guy, stand-up dude. But I'm just gonna go with the.
Hey, that's the way it goes. I mean, I sometimes you feel like, at least for me, sometimes I'm like, man, well, what if I choose against Frankie and he sees this and I run into him one day and then he says like, man, you went against me. Like, no, man, I had to pick somebody.
We might be in trouble with a lot of fighters after this is over.
Yeah, it's nothing personal. This is part of the game. This is what makes it entertaining. But so I just think, you know, I try to sometimes figure who has more ways to win, and both of these guys are so similar. And I do agree, Jeremy Stephens could get that knockout, and that's definitely what I'm afraid of. But Frankie Edgar is fast. His boxing is great. His wrestling is good. I mean, even but damn, Jeremy Stephens is freaking 3 inches taller than him. Man.
Yeah, he's got a 3-inch reach, I think, and he's
he's got some advantages.
25-12, and he's won 16 of them by knockout or TKO. So that's where I've come up with my decision.
So my heart is gonna go with Frankie Edgar, just because of longevity. That I've always rooted for the guy. But especially since you're going with Jeremy Stephens on this one, at least I feel more comfortable. I'll go with Edgar. So we got a dollar bet on this.
All right.
Very good. All right, let's move on, because there's like I could talk about these fights for longer, but honestly, there's so many fights to go over. We just got to keep going. Yeah.
What's next? Miesha Tate?
Tate and Raquel Pennington.
Yeah.
You could start this one off. This one's
We
interesting.
should go
I like
back.
this. Raquel's
That'd be
tough.
more fair.
This is like tough versus tough.
Yeah.
This is a good matchup. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, honestly, I see tough versus tough, but I just think Miesha Tate's experience gives her the edge. Her last loss, she can't lose to Raquel Pennington.
No.
That's damn near, I mean, no offense, but I mean, if you lose that fight, you got a lot longer of a ladder to climb. So I know she's going to be motivated. Raquel's really good, but I feel like when I see her fighting, she has a very good, like, if you were to grab somebody who has no skill at all and you taught them from scratch. So they're going to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Standard.
Yeah.
She doesn't look elusive. She doesn't look too tricky.
Yeah. More stiff, pause, but
sure, just very traditional.
Yeah.
She doesn't bring anything to the table that's gonna be too surprising. I haven't seen her, flying kicks or knees or just anything too crazy. She's just tough. She's got good boxing skill, good grappling, and I think that's what she's got. But I think Miesha Tate has that and more. Yeah. So my heart goes to Miesha because I've loved her forever, and I think she's gonna win.
Yeah. She's 18-6, 3 of those to Ronda, which I hope we get to see one more fight.
Wait, that was 2 fights.
2? Were there the 2 of them?
I think we still need a trilogy. I think so.
Okay.
Well, she got armbarred.
Yeah.
I think it was just 2. That's a good one to look at. I think it's just 2 because it makes sense for a third. It just sucks that she didn't win one of them. That's the only problem.
Yeah. I just think she has that dig deep when her back's against the wall, like versus Holly Holm. She knew she wasn't going to get another title shot if she lost that.
Yeah.
And she's a great she's great at standing up. She's very careful. Like when you saw against Holly Holm, she didn't rush in. She played it smart, even though, what are you going to do against Holly Holm when she's boxing? But
right.
She played her game. But with Pennington, I don't know enough about her to give a true conclusion on that. But even if I did, my heart still goes to Miesha, and I do believe Miesha will win. Yeah. And that's based off of skill set for Miesha.
Miesha's a tough girl to beat as it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, not too many girls will beat her anyways.
Yeah, and Holly took her to 5 rounds, and with however many seconds left, Miesha takes it. You know what I mean? She'll fight till the very, very end, and I respect that. And I don't know. I think she'll take this one.
Yeah. So. I think it's Miesha Tate, the name. Because I sometimes think like, behind the scenes, why'd you put this fight together? And that's kind of like the Khabib and Michael Johnson. And I just feel like, it's almost like that fight, no disrespect to Michael Johnson, but it's almost like Khabib, the people want you to fight, so here's an opponent.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not necessarily, it doesn't make all the sense in the world. Michael Johnson's good, but he might not be up there in those top 3, top 5. So
for sure.
So anyways, with the Miesha Tate one, I feel like it's a Miesha Tate name versus Raquel. I'm not saying she's not good, but I just see Miesha gonna be able to win the fight no matter where it goes.
Yep.
All right, so we're agreed on that one. All right, Kelvin Gastelum and Donald Cerrone.
Man.
You want to start this?
Yeah, I'll start it. Donald Cerrone has been looking so good at 170.
Yeah, he has. Yes, he has.
You know what I mean? And Kevin Gastelum's great.
He's amazing.
He'll grind you out too, and he's got some power. But
well, let me throw this in here into your thinking really quick. Why is it? And it's not even true, but it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like Kelvin is so much bigger than Donald Cerrone.
Yeah.
But it's not. Donald Cerrone's 6'1". That's what is that, 2-3 inches taller than Kelvin?
Yeah, what is he? 5'11", 5'10".
I guess I'm just not used to Donald being a 170 pounder versus these bigger guys. I guess is what I'm not used to. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because like size, it's like, man, it's just hard to see Donald in there. But like you said, he's been looking amazing.
He has been, and my heart says Donald Cerrone, and
okay.
I do pull it off as well. His last loss was Dos Anjos, and he's beaten Rick Story, Patrick Cote.
In an amazing fashion.
Yeah, he's been on a tear.
The Rick Story one, my God.
Yeah.
That was his last fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one was where I think everyone was like, this is a new Donald Cerrone.
Yeah.
It's almost like he knows he has a bigger battery pack at this weight class. So he's just able to do those tricks that he has with no fear that he's going to, like, gas.
Yeah. I don't think that man has fear
no,
at all. Yeah. But definitely, he looks so much better. And he, like you were saying, he does have a much bigger gas tank. And I just think that's going to make a huge difference in what we see.
I think that's what's been showing, huh? That's probably what it is.
Sure.
He's able to bulk up a little more. He's more comfortable. And yeah, it is showing. So he's going to be hard to beat. But since you're picking Donald Cerrone, I will go with Kelvin. I will go with Kelvin. So
why is that?
I feel Kelvin has a really good chance of winning. Kelvin's boxing is really good. And he's such a big guy that, I mean, he seems like such a big guy compared to Donald Cerrone. But, and then, you know, thinking in my head, I'm almost like, well, Donald might be that much faster. So it's going to be a good fight. I like this matchup.
Yeah.
It's hard to say who my heart goes to because I really do like both. So I'll split my heart. My heart will go both ways. But I will pick Kelvin against you for the dollar bet.
All right.
Because I do feel. I feel like he's got it. But this is just a good matchup. Like when you can't even realize how one of them can win over the other. This is a good matchup.
Yeah, it's different. And he, like you were saying, he does just he looks big, and it's weird how much. I mean, I guess they're not that much different.
Maybe he's wider. It could be a thing. He just has like a wider frame.
Something like that.
Something, but it just like he just seems so much bigger to where Kelvin's punches are tough. His wrestling. But Donald's got all of that. All of that. He's got it all. So if he gets taken down, so what?
Anyone under Jackson Wink, I don't know. They're different animals too. You know what I mean? Those are great coaches.
Especially strategically, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure Kelvin has a great team, but I see Donald winning it. And
fair enough. This is what makes it more interesting when we're watching it, when there's a dollar on it. Chris Weidman and Yoel. I'm going to start this one off just because I already have something to say.
Okay.
Dude, I am so scared for Chris Weidman. I don't know why. Chris Weidman is so good. Stand-up, wrestling. But I've been watching Yoel recently just for this episode specifically, just so I can get a little fresher view. And dude, his stand-up isn't horrible, isn't bad, and especially because he's so explosive. And then I think about the Chris Weidman and Yoel wrestling, and I just see Yoel manhandling him in a way. Like he's just so freaking big and strong. Look what he did at Jacare, and Jacare is a beast.
On the ground, he's a beast.
So I'll just say this. Let me do my picks. My heart goes with Chris Weidman. I really like the guy. I want him to be a champion again. He's going to be in New York. He deserves to win. So my heart goes to him. But maybe you'll pick that way because I'm going to pick Yoel for the win.
All right.
What do you think of that?
Here's where I stand. His last loss obviously was Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
Before that, he had to go through the gauntlet of Damian Maia, Mark Munoz, Anderson Silva twice. We know what happened with that. Lyoto Machida, Vitor Belfort. Division I wrestler, great wrestler. But where I think the difference is going to be made is I think Yoel could gas earlier than Chris Weidman, and that's where I think the fight might take a different turn.
Well, let me throw this out.
Okay.
I believe, and I don't think I'm wrong here, there's a 3-round fight.
True.
If it was a championship fight, I would probably go Chris Weidman 100%. But it is a 3-rounder, so yes, still, even in the third, I mean, Chris would just have to push the pace from the get-go so that rounds 2 and 3 are more favorable for him. So yeah, I mean, you're still not wrong. It's still true.
Yeah. He is a black belt under Matt Serra and Renzo Gracie. That's another thing. I mean, Yoel's great on the ground too, so that's gonna be a great. I mean, that's one of the most exciting fights I think of the night. But yeah, my heart goes with Weidman, and I'm gonna pick Weidman.
Nice, we got another dollar on it. Nice. Because we can't do it in person while it's happening, so we might as well do it now.
You just send it to me through the PayPal.
Yeah, we'll PayPal it. You know, a whopping $3.
Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, just a little bit more on that one. I think Yoel, he's one of those guys that he's so big and explosive that it forgives some of the skill that he doesn't have.
True.
So when I see the wrestling and when I see submission attempts, stuff like that, if Yoel's in good condition, which I'm sure he will be, that's like you said, that's going to be one of the best fights of the night.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a belt, that's why. So he's like the co-main event after the 3 championship fights, which is
how insane is that, man?
Dude, this card.
This is gonna be Christmas, man.
This is
Christmas in November.
Like, I was excited for UFC 200. Like, I did a long show. I had a UFC 200 party. I did a reaction video to Kane's win. You know, all that stuff. But the matchups weren't all great. They weren't all great. Like Mark Hunt and Brock, it should have been Brock and somebody else. Mark Hunt had that puncher's chance, but they basically gave Brock such a possibility to win.
Oh man, yeah, they did.
What else did we get? Well, anyways, we're going off topic, but
I feel like they kind of. I don't know. I didn't like that whole.
The UFC 200 was forced.
No one.
I think is the best.
Yeah, definitely.
UFC 200 was forced to be a big.
When John Jones fell out, I think it was like okay, what are we gonna do?
It was a massacre. Yeah.
So.
But this one, this is UFC 200. This is
you got 3 people drop out, and it'll still be UFC 200.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. All right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think you're gonna need to start off this next one because I understand you're a Joanna fan. So Joanna versus Karolina.
That is my girl. So Karolina, she is 10-0. I just do not think she's, and with all respect, sure. I think she's a great fighter. But I don't think she's anywhere. I don't think anyone really in that division except for how do you is it Claudia or Claudia? Claudia Gadel.
That's my
girl. She is the closest one I believe that can take Joanna out. But
and even then,
and she has good takedown defense and she can get back up. Like there were times during that fight that I was just like, how is she gonna get up? And like she just kept getting up and her striking is like it's second to none.
Yeah.
And I mean I'm talking guys, girls, she is legit striking. So I mean, yeah, Karolina, she did just beat Rose, which is big because Rose is legit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see it.
You know what's interesting about this fight? I foresee, which I think is gonna be awesome. I foresee both these girls stand-up fight. I don't see much grappling,
hopefully,
unless it's clinch work, which is fine. But I don't see takedowns. I don't see any of that. And with that happening, then I do see Joanna taking this one. Karolina is probably, as far as striking goes, probably next to Rose, one of the best. But Joanna is so crisp. She looks like, just like this is how you're supposed to punch. Well, that's how she fights.
And her flurries are scary. If I ever saw her in the street, I don't care. She's 115 pounds. She will whoop my ass. But she's a different animal in that her striking. If that, like you said, if it stays on the feet, there's no. with all due respect, I just believe there's no chance.
Because I mean, Karolina she has a real good clinch, so that's going to be interesting. But
right.
That's not Joanna's. That's not something. Joanna's Muay Thai champion before, right?
Yeah.
That's nothing at all that she's not aware of or whatever. No. But
she's been in those waters before, so
it will be a exciting fight. That is a really good fight. I got to go with Joanna as well. I mean, I don't see Karolina doing it.
Do you think that was the easiest fight to call on this card?
No, like as far as winner?
Yeah.
No, Khabib and Johnson, I think. After talking about it, I think Khabib and Johnson is the easier one. What I do like about this one is that Karolina very much is the next one in line.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Claudia needs to, do
go back to the draw.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you with her being the next person that's going to be able to possibly do it just because of her strength and her power. But she couldn't knock out Joanna. She couldn't outlast her. I don't think she could ever outlast her.
That was the difference.
That was the difference. Yeah.
Once 4 and 5 rounds came, you could tell, and Joanna was she had a full gas tank still. Even after getting up from all those takedowns, and those were tough to get up from.
And that's a fighter.
Still had that gas tank. Yeah.
It's like that gas tank is. It's kind of like fighters do conditioning, and you get your gas tank, but then you have this passion for winning or passion for fighting. This extra.
So you dig deep. Yeah.
Yeah, that comes from nowhere you can train for. That's all mental. And exactly. She was fighting
born.
Yeah, Joanna's something else. So I think though, because it's going to be all stand up, I think that's why I am still very much excited. It's a undefeated fight.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Hey, we don't get this too often.
22-0 between the two of them. So one Polish girl's going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved a Poland event. That would have been pretty dope.
Yeah.
It didn't work out, but hey, she's on a huge card.
I wonder how the crowd would have reacted to that. You know what I mean? Having two of your own that have put on for your.
It's like, is there cheers both ways? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, Joanna was probably the first to do it, so maybe that's maybe.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like it'd be like asking me if Cain Velasquez had a fight DC, who would I go for? It'd be tough because they're in the same camp, everything, all that. But I'd probably go for Cain because he's been fighting longer.
Yeah.
He's more, I've known him first. I met him first.
For sure.
All right, we got the main event and co-main events. So, Tyron Woodley. Oh, Tyron. I don't want him yelling at me. Tyron.
And just for my girl, Joanna.
Oh, my bad. And I was saying Joanna. You're
all good. I'm just kidding with you.
No, education. Because I didn't know that. I didn't know that one. In case you didn't know, Tyron Woodley. Not Tyrone. There's no E. Tyron.
Yeah, no.
So Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Thompson.
Yeah.
Wonder Boy Thompson. What do you got?
I'm going.
I can go first.
Okay, good.
I have no idea. Oh, you did, because of Joanna. I don't know who's gonna win this fight. First off, and I'm hoping, and this is usually how it works out when I do these shows and I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to imagine it and more educated pick somebody. So Tyron, all right, he's got great wrestling. Doesn't typically do that ground and pound, but he can, and he probably will in this one. He probably should. He probably will, actually, now that I think about it. But he's got that big right hand that you can only land on your feet. And he's capable of getting to it, but obviously he's fighting somebody who's good at not getting hit. He's good at seeing what's coming. Man, and you can interject at any point because I'm not ready.
Yeah, you made a good point with that because with Thompson, like everyone's like, oh, well, he knocked out Robbie Lawler, who was the best. Well, Robbie was standing right in front of him.
Right.
Thompson's gonna be moving around like a spider monkey. You know what I mean? Like,
and we gotta think of the stance as well.
Exactly, the karate stance,
which is kind of like I mean, we could do an episode in the future just on this topic. The new era of fighter, hence your Conor McGregor.
The lead leg standing out.
Your karate stance. I mean, remember when Machida was out?
Yeah.
And nobody was stopping him.
Dude, that was the first person I actually studied movement. The way he could like move sideways as well. Like, man, his was. I mean, he had
I don't know what the win streak was, but he was unstoppable for a good minute. And it was all stand up. It was all his strikes, his kicks, his punches.
Yeah,
so fast, and they couldn't hit him.
We owe it all to Steven Seagal, though.
Well, when I think Steven Seagal,
that was Steven Seagal's doing right there.
Oh yeah, Steven Seagal. That's a good poster. Is that that's all posters that you've collected?
Yeah, and this was just there's Conor versus Dustin, John Jones and Anderson Silva, and then just a picture from one of my teammates, Paige. Shout out Paige, and shout out Sean Wells, Igor.
Nice. Those are some good good picks there.
Daytona Fight Sports, yeah.
Very good. So here, my heart goes to Stephen Thompson. I'll say that. My heart goes to him only because of his personality. I really like I remember Ariel Helwani. He was always saying it, like he's a guy that you would allow your kids to hang up on your poster. Not that Tyron isn't. I'm not saying that, but his fight style mixed with his personality, he just for me, he's just like, I think he's a great representative for the sport. He's freaking really good. He's I mean, his knockouts, he's a highlight reel, you know.
7 KOs, 1 submissions, 5 decisions. So.
Yep. So I really like him. I really would like to see him up there and people to fight him. Kind of like the Machida thing. When people are going up against, like, whoa, how are you going to beat him? Like, this guy's unstoppable. Just kind of like Conor. Conor has that same aura. It's like, oh, you're going against him? How are you going to beat him?
Exactly.
So I like that about him. Tyron, I do like him. I guess I will have to say he rubbed me a little bit the wrong way when he won the belt and his whole calling out.
Started making shots.
Yeah, like instantly. Like, I don't really care, but it did rub me the wrong way. I do like him, though. I respect his whole family values and all of that. But when we get to the fighting and who I choose, I really think Stephen Thompson has a lot of tools to win. And as long as he can stay away from Tyron's few dangerous things, like his big right hand and wrestling, it's in the bag. So that's it. My dollar's on Stephen Thompson.
Yeah. I mean, Tyron Woodley, he's explosive, very powerful. He was an NCAA Division I wrestler, but when you look at Stephen Thompson, he's 5th degree black belt in Kempo karate, black belt in American kickboxing, purple belt in BJJ. I mean, once I started seeing him get on the scene, I knew about his BJJ, but he's just, I don't know. I just don't think that Woodley's great, but I just think that Thompson is too lucid and it's going to be hard to touch him. Yeah. But I mean, anything can happen. He can get clipped, obviously. But I see him taking it going the full distance, decision, Thompson.
You know, I just thought about this too. You know what's crazy, dude? There's 3 championship fights. So that means that the main 3 fights of this event are 5 rounds.
Wow.
So we got 3 fights at the end of this event that are gonna be 5 rounds. Oh, not gonna be, but are 5-round fights. So that alone is crazy. This event is crazy. As far as that fight, I think we, and that's the beauty of it. Obviously, Tyron can go in there and knock his head off, and we're both completely wrong. That's the fun about all of this. But I mean, Stephen Thompson just has a lot of tools, and they're tools that work against Woodley.
Yeah.
Robbie was a good person to fight with because he's gonna fight you.
When was that matchup made? Was that the same guy that's doing them now? The new guy?
No. I think you're talking about Woodley and Robbie Lawler?
And Lawler. Yeah, because that seems like a fight where it's like, okay, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they felt like Tyron. He was just on the sideline complaining to get a title fight. Like, he wasn't even taking fights because he just felt he deserved the title. So, and I don't, that, I guess that kind of goes with, well, I like those fighters that just fight, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then he's being smart, and I can't knock him for that.
Exactly. What would we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's trying to get to the top to make the money. Why risk losing that by taking, a smaller fight or whatever? But anyways, Wonder Thompson, you got Wonder Boy?
Yeah, I got Wonder Boy.
All right. So the main event.
Bum, 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 bum.
I could hear the announcement already. Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor. I know where my heart goes right off the bat, but I want you to start this one.
You did me dirty. All right. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like Conor McGregor. I love his mindset. I think that's very rare for someone to just totally
do what he's done,
do what he's doing, and truly believing it, that there's no failure. He doesn't see that in his mind, and that's what I try and take from and just put into what I do. But that's not, that's not the same thing.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment, though.
Compliment for Conor. Think he has definitely a compliment for him. He's 20-3, 17 knockouts, and he proved, which I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, well, his fights are happening so quickly that I don't know how's his chin. Well, I mean, the first fight against Nate Diaz, he did get rocked, and then he shot, which was a mistake, obviously. Right. But in the next fight, I think he proved that he does have a chin, you know what I mean? And I kind of knew that, but I knew a lot of people who don't really watch it that much thought that, like, he's never been hit before, or he's gonna get hit and all that stuff. But Conor finds ways. You know what I mean? He adapts and he finds ways to win. Eddie Alvarez, he is a beast. He's a grinder. He can go all day, and this is a tough one. If it stays standing, I mean, I know I got to pick one, but I'll give scenarios. But if it stays,
that's the good news about where your heart goes and who you're going for.
Okay.
It's almost like having two picks in one. Sometimes.
Okay.
All right. Here, let me take over, and then you can keep thinking about it. My heart, right off the bat, for sure, is gonna go to Eddie Alvarez. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Conor. Everything, like you said, everything he's done. I like how, I kind of don't like how he puts on the persona, but that's what makes it bigger. So I don't want to knock it. But that's one of the little things that it's like, I don't ever know what I get, but when you see like behind the scenes of him, he's a nice guy. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
So I really don't have anything negative to say about him. But I will say this, just kind of when we get engulfed in the press conference and we get engulfed in the fight, and I see who's talking trash, I want the guy talking trash to get his teeth, knocked out or whatever, and it's like the humble sandwich thing.
Yeah.
I love watching fights when someone needs a humble sandwich. Like John Jones, I wanted him to lose so bad just because he, all the great things he was doing. So Eddie, he's a cool guy. He doesn't talk crap. He respects everybody. All those things. So I like that about him. So that's that. So that's where my heart goes. Whatever. Let's talk about the fight. The fight. I think this is going to be the best Conor we will ever see at 155. It's almost like the whole Donner Cerrone thing, 155, he was good. But 170, he was great. Or he is great. So I think Conor's going to feel very comfortable. His gas tank will be perfectly fine. And all of these things. Eddie, and we brought this up a little bit before. Eddie, in my opinion, because before even this fight ever was made, I had this thing and I said, to beat Conor right off the bat, you got to take him down. You got to go the Chad Mendes route. You got to take him down quicker than he did. And you just got to just beat him. Ground and pound. You just got to work him, get him tired, get him sweaty, get him flat-footed, because he does get flat-footed as he gets tired.
Yes.
There wasn't a lot of grappling with Nate. There was not that much grappling. And look at, like, sure, he had a few flurries in round 4, but 4 and 5 were, he was hanging on a thread, man. He was hanging in there, but not in a excellent fashion.
Yeah.
So I think that because he did 5 rounds, his body's going to only be more acclimated to this next fight. Conor's only going to get better, is what I'm saying. His conditioning's only going to get better. His fighting's only going to get better.
28? Yeah.
Dude, he's so all respect to him. I feel for sure he has ways to win, but the ways for him to win is knockout. I don't see him winning a wrestling match. I don't see him. It's going to be boxing. It's going to either be outstrike him for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get the knockout, which he might not, Eddie can take a shot. Eddie's a fighter. I mean, with Eddie, what comes to mind is that fight versus Michael Chandler.
Okay.
Dude, McGregor in that fight would have melted. Like that pace for all those rounds, grappling.
Yeah.
Man, so there you go. My heart went with Eddie, but I really feel Eddie's gonna win this fight as well.
Okay. All right.
What you got? Where you at?
Man, I feel like I'm about to. I don't know where I'm at yet, but I'm just gonna make my decision.
And you could change before the fight. You know, this isn't engraved in stone, but
no, if a dollar's on the line, man, you know what I mean.
If you're going for Conor, a dollar's on the line.
Some big money.
Yeah, that's a good bet still.
I mean, Eddie, he has 15 KOs, 7 submissions. So he can, you know what I mean, he can stand and go to the ground. But I do believe that if it does stand, Conor McGregor just has that freaking meat cleaver of a left hand that just opens people up. Like, yeah, and I know Nate has a different face and it kind of opens up easier, but still.
It knocks people out.
Dustin Poirier said that it's the hardest person he's ever been hit by, and he's been hit by people from 205 down. But
I mean, that left hand travels so the distance.
And it's so precise.
Yeah, the distance in which where it starts and ends is such a long distance that it just gains so much speed.
Yeah.
And yeah, he cracks people. I mean, and
just
like you said, his accuracy.
Yeah, and just having that, I think, kind of not messes with people's mind, but it just makes them a lot more cautious and fight cautious.
Yeah.
So my heart.
But let me throw this out before you say. But you got Eddie Alvarez, who's got amazing coaching right now in boxing. They know what they're gonna get. They know what to expect. Not that it won't land. Obviously, the left hand can and will more likely land.
Yeah.
But you know, I think you have to keep in mind Eddie will be well aware of it.
Oh yeah.
And I really, really hope he wrestles from the get-go.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
Yeah. That's what he's got. He needs to get it down on the ground.
At least round 1. At least, at a minimum, round 1, get him to the ground.
Get him tired.
Yeah, you can't deal with the first few minutes of Conor being fresh.
Yeah, no.
Too risky.
Because that's the most dangerous Conor is that first round.
Yep.
I mean, you dropped Nate. Did you drop him in the first round? That was the first, right?
Yeah. I just don't remember if he knocked him down once or twice in the first round because I think he knocked him down twice in the second round. I think is what it was, something like that.
I actually heard that because because he had a hurt rib, he wanted him to go to the grounds. And the first one I actually was kind of like that. I was like, that doesn't seem like a shot that would put him down.
Like the one that went straight straight in the middle and he just dropped down.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that one, I could buy that, but the first two, I'm not sure. No. Maybe that third one though. Yeah. That third one did look a little funny, and he dropped straight down just like a jiu-jitsu person would. He looked like Verdum, you know, when he dropped down, he's like, "Come on." Yeah, exactly. So I would buy that one, but dude, and if that was the case though, I mean, maybe because of his rib, he couldn't take him down. But man, I wish he could have. Yeah,
and you know, Nate wasn't gonna. No matter what happened, he wasn't gonna pull out of that fight. So, but anyway.
So, who's your heart going with?
Okay, my heart. I love Eddie Alvarez, like you were saying, how he is outside of the ring and everything. But Conor McGregor, if I was in the position that he was in and making the type of money that he was in, I wouldn't step on people like sometimes he does. But I would, you know, I mean, he's doing what he needs to do, so I can't hate on that.
He's in the position where he can.
I can't hate on that.
Yeah, I agree.
But so my heart goes with McGregor, and
I like it.
Go with McGregor.
Oh, we got a dollar on it. What do we got?
I'm probably gonna get so much crap from Nate Diaz fans. Don't get me wrong. That's what I hate about this. The only thing I hate about this sport is, for example, when Conor was coming up, like how good of a time was that when you knew he was gonna end up fighting Aldo?
Right.
But like, I loved that timing in the UFC. But I learned to like. But then I started not liking him when he got a little too cocky and taking Aldo's belt and stuff. That's when I was like, I hope Aldo.
Right. The humble sandwich.
Yeah, so after he lost to Nate, and I saw how he handled that, I was like, okay, I can start liking him again.
Yeah, no, but, and he got a lot of my respect after that win too.
Yeah, but I don't want to piss off some of the people that.
Who cares, man? They're making picks anyways. I think no matter what, like I go Eddie Alvarez and the Conor McGregor fans who are probably number one. Any fighter fans, they're hardcore, and you know they'll tear us to shreds if you're not with King Conor. But that's also like one of the things that kind of turns me off a little bit. Like Conor fans are so extreme, King Conor, and like you ain't gonna do shit, you know. And they're just like quoting him. So it's like, man, the only way to shut you guys up is if Conor gets shut up.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I love Conor. I'm a big fan. I really am. But because of the way the landscape is painted, I'm a big fan of humble sandwiches too. Yeah. Like even Anderson Silva, when Anderson Silva was getting cocky in the ring, I was like, dude, I hope he fucking gets rocked. Like that's just not right. You know? Yeah. And what did he get? He got a humble sandwich.
Yeah, he did. So, did you feel like, and I don't want to, I mean, what are they gonna do to me? But
dude, go for it.
Once Nate left, once Nate won, it almost seemed like, because on my page, like Conor McGregor was like, if I posted Conor McGregor, he was getting like, it was no doubt that was blowing up. And Nate, it wasn't really like that. And all of Conor's followers would be in there, like tons of them, giving me like tons of comments. And after the Nate loss, it was like, where'd y'all go? And then the Nate fans are like the Conor McGregor fans, not in the sense of like King Conor, whatever, but like just War Diaz, like.
So you're saying when it's on the winner's side is when they come out, is what you're saying?
I just think after he lost, because you know it's expensive to come over from Ireland to watch all of his fights, and he knows that, and he said that, but it just seemed like they kind of went incognito after that loss.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
once he won that, it was like they're back.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say there because we're all people, but yeah, just
no, I get what you're
the
saying.
Irish fans, when they are there, like you were saying, they are some different.
The humble sandwich lasted until he got back on the horse.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. Yeah. No, and I don't doubt it. Like I remember, I was at a party at and I'll probably cut this out, so don't worry about it.
yeah.
We'll do a little finalization, but I went to a party with the first one, Nate versus Conor. I want to say the only one that was going for Nate. And I was going for Nate because I felt he could win, but not only that, I just figured, I'm going for Nate, 209.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah.
So when he won, dude, I was the only one jumping up and down while everybody was like with their mouth open and all of that. And so I juiced it and I loved it. Part 2, I went to another party where everyone was for Conor. And when he lost, I was just like, fuck, man. Hey, this is my turn. My turn.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's just part of the game. But I think that's what's fun about it. It's I just think people, and, maybe on this platform is where we talk about it. People just need to, like if you got a favorite fighter, that's great. Let's talk about their skills and this and that. If you don't like this or that of personality, sure, mention it. There's nothing wrong with it. That's it. But some people just get a little extreme and curse words and
and people don't understand. Yeah, people don't understand, like, when you do have like a site like you do or like I do, like, we're fans of both people because, like, they weren't fighting each other at one time. They were fighting other people that we became fans through that. And some people just don't understand that, and they get a little upset about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I think and that's why with this, I call it a community, because just because you have a certain pick, I have a certain pick, I want to hear what other people think, because what other people see in Eddie or see in Conor and why they think this person's going to win or why they think that person's going to win. Those are all the reasons why I love doing this show, because I want to hear it. I want to hear different perspectives. I want to hear all that stuff. I might not change my mind, but I might.
Yeah.
And just the talk is
for
what's
sure.
good. Hence why this is called Let's Talk MMA.
Yeah.
But,
awesome.
All right. So I think we got a few dollars on the line.
We do.
We got 2 weeks until the event. Yes. Making the big bucks. We got like 2 weeks for the event. Very exciting. UFC 205, first event in New York.
I can't even describe how excited I am, honestly. I feel like a little girl.
It's an early Christmas gift to all of us MMA fans. And
for sure.
Well, I have to thank you, Matt, for coming on. I know it took a little bit for us to get this done on both ends.
I truly appreciate it. You're awesome, man.
No, I appreciate this. I'm sure we'll do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody check out his page, Lions of MMA. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people are already there. He posts stuff right off the bat, so you got to check it out. I mean, if you love MMA, once you see the page, you will follow. So thank you, Matt. Until next time, I appreciate it, and have an awesome day.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
You too.
All right, guys. That was awesome. Like, to talk with somebody who has that MMA knowledge, or just a passion, I think is a better word, is what it's all about for me. I like talking about MMA. I do it all the time, and I like meeting new people because then I get different perspectives, different picks, all that good stuff. And just like this, keeping it positive. Doesn't matter who you go for. Not a big deal. If you want to put dollar bets or whatever, it's just all conversation, all good stuff. If you look at this right here, I wanted to mention this in the beginning of the show. I've been going from UFC 1 and making my way up just to revisit all of these events. And I'm at UFC 21, where a couple events before that, Tap Out was just the thing. This was getting really popular. So this is an old shirt. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like brand new. I probably only wore it like once. But I wanted to put it on the show. MMA's been out forever. I love it. I know you guys love it because you're here. Please leave your comments below. Check out Lions of MMA. And this is a community, so if you want to be on this show, it's very possible. If you love MMA, we can do a Skype call just like this, and I'm willing to do episodes with just about anybody. So if you guys want to be on, let me know. Leave your comments below, put your pics and all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.